Vamos a Mexico. We're making lemon Carlota in this month's passport to pastries. And products that don't just take up space, they're actually useful. I know, isn't that crazy? See what's working for pets and babies from product specialist Don McCarthy. And are you getting ready to walk down the aisle? A mental health check-in you need to hear. Colorado & Company starts right now.
Portions of Colorado & Company contain paid content.
Good friends, gonna get you through the day. Good friends.
Good morning and happy Monday. What do you get when you mix a badass mom who wrote a book, created an organization that's helping so many lives, advocates all over the country, all while going through treatment for stage 4 metastatic breast cancer? You get one of my absolute favorite guests, and I consider her now a friend, Alyssa Calver.
I'm so excited to be here.
Absolutely. And today, she brought the hubby along, Eric, which is important because we're talking about caregiving as well. First off, hi.
Hi, this is so exciting. I'm so excited Eric gets to be here.
Me too.
And we had such a great time talking originally. Like, man, I was like, I gotta get back.
Yeah,
and
anytime. Open invite.
I love that, thank you.
Okay, so let's start with the organization, wegotthis.org. You guys can look it up right now, but I want you to look it up at some point if you're not doing it now. Why did you start it, and what is it?
So when I was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer, it was just a few days before my daughter Ellie's first birthday. And everyone asked how they could help. And it was an unintentional burden that felt like there should be a solution like we have for babies and weddings. And that was what started this idea of let's find a way to bridge that gap with a gift registry for cancer patients. It's grown to so much more than just that, beyond recommendations and community and other resources and nonprofits that people need to find. And such a huge part of it is that community piece.
I was gonna say the community is huge.
The community is everything, really. And when we narrow down community, there's so many spectrums of where that falls. And the most immediate is our caregivers. And it's just so important from day one, and we always joke that when I told Eric in my 5th round of chemo I was gonna start a nonprofit, what was your answer?
Of course you are.
I mean, this woman does everything. It's unbelievable.
It didn't surprise me
I can
at all.
imagine. I can imagine.
So many different things we've done. It's like, that
I'm gonna
makes
see
sense.
that happen. Now, I do wanna talk to you, the hubby, AKA the caregiver. Eric, I was a caregiver for my mom my whole life, and it was something that nobody talked about, and I'm so glad we're bringing it to the forefront. What was it like becoming a caregiver overnight as a young husband, a new dad, mentally? Feel free to go there. How did it feel?
It was overwhelming.
Right?
Very overwhelming after going through COVID and having our daughter be born and then going across the country for our family to meet her, and then we're like, okay, we're settled, things are good, and then this kind of happened overnight. And I'm planning for everyone in the household, like in general, like, yes, we're planning for different things, but I have to plan out her schedule, my daughter's schedule, what could happen if we do this or that. And it was just, there was so much to take on that, hyperventilated a couple of times.
Been there.
Seeing certain scans come up, and it was a lot, but we worked together as a team, and Alyssa was already like set on, all right, this is what we have to do. And she was like, hey, like, we need to work as a team, like, let's do this together and figure it out.
And you didn't run, which is unbelievable. Some people are, I'm gonna take off.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Okay, both of you, I do wanna know, how do you guys continue to create memories and find joy all while living with this? Because you do, I watch you.
Yes,
Yeah.
A lot of it is making sure that we prioritize it. And it's a big thing that I talk about. Cancer's not a prerequisite to living life fully, but it's definitely a wake-up call. And we've always been busy people and living life hard and all of that.
You make me feel like a schlub.
Oh, please.
Like, wow. Unbelievable.
No, a lot of it is really recognizing that we deserve it. And if we don't prioritize it and we don't really understand that it's important, then we might let it go to the wayside.
Amen.
And there are periods of treatment where, we might catch ourselves being like, we are just surviving right now, and that's not enough. That's what we said we weren't gonna just do, right?
Unbelievable.
And we recognize a lot that I know how lucky I am to have Eric and his support. And I know that not everyone is that lucky, and we all have such unique experiences. Cancer and life is like a fingerprint.
Yes.
But if we take from that and we build the community in the ways and meet everyone where they're at, That's how we build that up. And that was something that from the beginning I said there's a lot of these fragmented ways that we provide support. If we can bring that all together, We Got This is for all types of cancer, all ages, and everyone affected by it. That is essentially everyone. I don't know anyone not affected by cancer.
I don't know anyone. And anyone watching here, if you want to get some help, I'm going to repeat it. WeGotThis.org. I'm going to keep going. And I also want to plug the book. This is We Got This. It's How I Learned to Thrive with Terminal Cancer by Alyssa Calver. You guys can also look this up if you want something to hold on to. I just have to ask for you, as a caregiver, speak to the audience. That's what I like to do. I like to speak to Diane from Greeley, Colorado, right? What would you say as advice for someone to keep hope and not drown in a cancer life-changing diagnosis?
Yeah, that's a great question. I wanted to be responsible for everything myself. I wanted to have that control of I'm going to take care of this and that with my daughter or with Alyssa or just anything around the house, and you can't do everything.
Amen.
It's really hard to let go, but you kind of need to accept help when it comes and give yourself that break and say you're doing everything you can, we're just human, and accept the help when it comes.
Wow, that makes me very teared up. I think you're an amazing person. I obviously think you're amazing, but people don't give the credit where credit is deserved.
It's the invisible patient.
It is,
Yeah.
and it's a burden that many people don't think about,
Well, a lot of people ask me hey, how's Alyssa doing? Is she doing okay?
How are you doing,
and
right?
I come maybe a little later or next time they're
Right.
I forgot to ask, how are
Totally.
you doing? And it's like that image of the dog in the room that's on fire who's I'm fine.
I'm fine, everything's fine.
That's me all the time,
Yeah.
but I'm also we have resources to help and talking to more people. At the beginning, it was it's just me.
Yeah.
And over time, you just have to accept that help. Otherwise, you're just going to drown.
You are. As caregiver to caregiver, I see you, and I'm glad you're doing okay.
Thank you.
Obviously, you as well.
Yeah,
I
you
love seeing you.
too.
Alyssa and Eric, thank you so much. Ooh, I'm gonna cry. Ooh, I'm gonna cry. To my viewers, make sure you go to WeGotThis.org. I said it 3 times. It's the place where you go to support friends and family in cancer treatment. The new recommendations shop helps you get them just what they need. So for patients in treatment, you can also start a free gift registry and add the products that would help you the most. That's the help that Eric's talking about. Take that burden off of you and learn from these two. Learn more and lend your support at WeGotThis.org. What a pleasure to see
Thank you so much.
Woo! Okay, well, there's a lot to celebrate in May, thank you, Eric, including graduates. Maybe your child just got their college diploma. They're probably thinking, now what? That was my teenage voice. Kelly got some advice from Beth Kobliner, the author of Get a Financial Life. Take a look.
Hi, Beth. I'm very excited to be talking to you. This is a very important topic. So I know there are some looming changes happening with student loans. So what should recent grads be doing to prepare for this?
Right. Well, the good news is the loan repayment plan options are being simplified. The bad news is more generous plans are going away. But what you need to do, the key move you need to do if you're a graduate is first look whether you have federal student loans or private student loans. Most people have federal student loans, which is good, and you get a 6-month grace period before you have to start paying back. But during that period, what you should do is figure out which repayment plan, which of the new repayment plans works best for you. Go to studentaid.gov and look up the loan simulator. And that will allow you to figure out what you pay in each scenario and which one may work best. Also, investigate the public service loan forgiveness program. If you're a public school teacher or a nurse or a nonprofit worker, you might be able to sign up for a plan and pay, as long as you make on-time payments, where you can have your debt forgiven after many years, 10 years. So that's a really good option, but you have to make on-time payments. So check that out.
Okay, break it down for us, Beth. What are the 3 key things that someone who has just graduated college should do so that they set themselves up for a good financial path?
Right. Well, the first one might be a little bit hard for young people to hear and maybe even their parents, but moving back home is really smart because it allows you to spend less money on food and laundry, but you also are able to save more money. And that's super important. You should have money automatically taken out of your paycheck and put into a high yield savings account that maybe pays you 3 or 4%. That's the first start. That's something that's really important. Also, if you're working for a company that offers a 401k, especially if it has matching, you want to put your money into that. Again, automatically have it taken out of your paycheck and put into that. It has the word retirement in it, but it's a misnomer. It really should be called long-term investment plan. And even if we're talking about $10, $20, $30, this is probably the best investment you can make. Again, if there's matching, it's the equivalent. If it's a dollar for dollar match, that's the equivalent of earning 100% on your money guaranteed after taxes, and you can't get that anywhere. And I'd say the third piece is be aware of spending. You know, it used to be the question was, should you pay in cash or use a credit card? Now it's tap to pay. Everyone's just tapping, and it's very easy to get deep into debt, deep into credit card debt. And unfortunately, young people are getting deeper into credit card debt. So you want to make sure to pay off your bill every month in full. And that means that you shouldn't buy something. It sounds so basic, but you shouldn't buy something that you can't afford to pay off in full. And that'll also help your credit score, because paying your bills on time, in full, every month is the best thing you can do to improve your credit score.
Beth, these are great tips. Okay, last question for you. Entering the workforce can be super intimidating, especially for a new grad. So do you have any advice or wisdom for them?
Yes, I do. One of the advantages of doing this for 30 years is that you do have wisdom. And my wisdom is, look, you're sent out all these LinkedIn, resumes, and you're trying everything, and you're finding it's all online. And what you need to do is look at your own situation and say, what college did I just graduate from? Who are the alumni from this school? Do they have alumni magazine? Do they have a career office with a list of alumni who will talk to you? Think about any of these careers that sound even remotely interesting to you. Even if they're not that interesting, reach out to someone and say, oh, I see you're in real estate. I don't really, I've been thinking about that. I was a business major. I was an English major, interested in housing, whatever the pitch is. Say, can I spend a few minutes talking to you for an informational interview? And that kind of one-on-one, chances are they're going to say yes. Often people, if they get an email from someone or even a phone call, they might be more receptive to talking to you and helping you out. And that's really important. And you'll be different from most other young people because unfortunately, the phone calls, the in-person interactions are much less common. But using your network, and maybe that person doesn't have a job, but they know someone who might be able to hire you or might be able to talk to you. And that's how building a network works.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Beth. These are great tips, and thank you for all that you do.
Thank you so much.
For more tips from Beth or to get her books, check out her website, bethkobliner.com. The Beth Klobiner Company sponsored today's segment. Well, let's take a little trip south of the border, shall we? Chef Angel is back with passports to pastries. This time a delectable treat from Mexico. Ooh, we'll be right back. All right, we have our favorite chef, Angel Figueroa. She is here in the Coco Kitchen from 3 Cherries on Top with her next installment of Passport to Pastries. Where are we flying today, Chef?
Mexico.
Mexico. Amazing.
Yes.
Okay, what are we making?
Carlota de limón.
Carlota de limón.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, great accent.
Thank you so much.
So it's a super easy dessert.
Okay.
3 steps. Perfect for the summer.
Okay.
That's all you need right now in your
3
life.
steps, I like that.
3 steps.
You know
It's
me,
so
I'm very
easy.
like type B. I don't do a lot of steps well. Tell me why this is the perfect dessert for summer, particularly.
It has lime or lemon. You can choose. So it's so refreshing, and yet it's really creamy and rich. So it's perfect, and you can make ahead of time.
Okay, which is also helpful. But
So
you want
helpful
that,
'cause
like,
it's busy.
Bite of citrus for summer.
Yes,
That's
you
so
want
good.
that. And you can
Okay.
serve it with like some berries maybe and
Yes.
some mint. Yes.
Ooh, some
Delicious.
mint. Okay, you were telling me this. It's a 3-step process. Start with step 1. What do we do?
Step 1, you need a blender, and if you don't have a blender, you can use a hand mixer.
Okay.
And you're gonna mix evaporated milk. You can start dumping this
Oh,
thing
am I
in there.
doing this? Hold
Yes.
on, let me put this here. Okay, is this it?
Yes, 1 can of
Oh, God.
evaporated milk.
Evaporated milk, y'all.
Yes.
I
Then
thought that meant
1
milk that
can
disappeared. It was just gone. What is this?
condensed milk.
Condensed milk.
Yes.
Oh, my.
1 can
Okay.
of this, and then 1/2 cup of lime juice.
Oh,
You
whoa.
can also use
1/2 cup,
lemon
y'all.
juice.
Or lemon. Okay, I'm pouring it in.
Yes.
Okay.
And then you're gonna give it a quick stir,
Oh God, I forgot the top. See, you don't want me cooking.
All right, you're gonna do a quick stir.
Okay, I'm hitting the stir button, guys.
Yep.
Stir button. Okay.
Oi.
And now it's stopped.
And it's very
And
important
stirred.
that
It's
you
stirred.
have electricity.
Yes, exactly. So let's pretend it was stirred.
Okay, it was stirred,
Yep.
and then you're gonna start adding your cream cheese in little cubes.
Okay.
While it's turning.
Pretend this is stirring. We're stirring. We're stirring.
Here, you can use
Oh,
this.
that's way better.
So you want the cream cheese to be at room temperature,
Okay. Okay. So not too cold.
not too cold.
I'm just stirring it by
Yep.
hand. Okay.
We're improvising
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
These will turn into a delicious cream.
It smells good.
And it's so lemony, it's delicious.
Yeah, the
and I
lime
like
smells
to add a teaspoon of lime zest.
Lime zest is delicious. I love
Yes.
adding. It just gives you a little bit more bite. Okay. What's the next step?
And then once this cream is gonna turn like nice and thick.
Okay.
Almost like this. See?
Oh, nice. Okay.
And then what you want to do is to start assembling this. We're
Okay.
gonna use this, or you can do that.
Oh, my
And-
bad.
No, that's fine.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Okay.
And stop.
Oh God. Don't do this. Okay. Or use this.
You can use a tablespoon, and you're gonna do one layer,
Oh, I see. Oh, I
and
messed this up.
then this is our Maria cookies. You can find at any Hispanic store.
Okay.
And Walmart too.
Maria's
oh look,
cookies.
you made it so much easier now.
Right?
And then you add a little bit more.
Okay, so we're going layer by layer by layer. I see
layer.
here, okay.
Until
We reach the top?
Until it looks like this.
Oh, look, it's TV magic. So this is what you're gonna have it look like. So there's 3 or 4 layers of the
Yep.
cookies, okay?
And then you're gonna put it in the fridge for
Put
4
it in the
hours.
fridge.
At
Sit.
least.
Okay, 4
All
hours.
night,
Okay.
yes. And then you can do some rosettes.
Okay.
To decorate this.
Yeah,
or
she thinks
look.
I can make rosettes. I could turn the blender on.
Let me show.
Okay.
So let me show you one.
And give me some piping tips while you're at
Okay,
it.
so you are gonna squeeze and turn and
Squeeze and
let
turn.
go.
Oh, that's beautiful.
See how you have like a
Angel.
rose?
Okay, you ready?
And then you squeeze.
Squeeze and turn.
Yeah! look.
Mine is more of a.
It's little one.
It's a daisy.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Do one more.
Okay,
Right
here we go.
here.
Squeeze and turn.
Little ones. Beautiful.
Amazing. And this is the final product?
Yes, so I
is
use a
gorgeous.
bigger mold for this one.
Yeah.
But
Look at
Again.
this. Bravo, Carlota.
and then look, if you don't want to pipe, very quick.
Oh, also the Ready Whip, a little bit easier. That is good. So see what creations Angel makes by following her on Instagram at 3 Cherries on Top. Place an online order at 3cherriesontop.com. We will be right back. Give me that Ready Whip. I'll put some in my mouth. Welcome back. We are just weeks away from the official start of summer, which also means it's almost travel season. So get ahead of the crowds and plan your trips now. Kelly caught up with Regina Lewis, consumer analyst and travel industry expert, to learn more. Take a listen.
Regina, I am so excited to be talking to you. I am a big traveler. Summer is typically a big travel time, but with the cost of everything going up lately, have you seen a dip in travel?
Sure. I mean, I look at all the data and it's aggregated by the U.S. Travel Association, and I think it makes sense, right? You're seeing a recalibration on the very macro level. Geopolitics will pull some of maybe the high net worth individuals who might have taken European vacations. That starts to get pulled back in the domestic footprint. And for mainstream Americans, I call it the rest of us, we're going to stay a little bit closer to home, shorter duration. And when we get there, we want to make sure we don't break the bank. And so those are the 3 dominant trends that are playing out right now that I think make perfect sense and amazingly are well timed, because it's going to be a very practical and patriotic summer. And you've got a lot of cards to play with America 250.
Right, so hopefully maybe we'll get some discounts with that coming in. Okay, so let's talk more about that. What is your number 1 money saving tip when it comes to traveling?
Well, I get asked that a lot, and I think what people are talking about is value, right? Buyer's remorse. Am I going to regret going? Am I going to regret the time spent? Is it going to be a pain? And so I have 2 sentences. If you say to yourself or your significant other or your family, I can't believe we've never been there. Right? Fill in the blank. Where is there? Or I can't believe we've never done that. What is that? What is the activity? Now, then you narrow the aperture or the circumference, right? Maybe you want to go to Hawaii, Alaska. Perhaps that's not in the cards this summer. But it's a forcing factor. And sometimes that means treating your hometown like you're a tourist, right? And when you have house guests and they're staying in your guest room and they say they're going to a regional concert or seeing the symphony or the museum or the regional sports team, and you think, oh yeah, I remember that their season started or that restaurant opened and we still haven't been. It's amazing how that can really be an impetus and really inspiring. And that's what I think American 250 is all about. I've started going to the events, and you can start now. July 4th will be the crescendo, but boy, it's a build, and a lot of them are free. So I road tested this, went with my young adult children, and free is a great price tag. You go to brunch after, and you still feel like, my goodness, this was the best.
Right. Get out in your own community and see what you've got going on, all of those free events. Okay, let's say we do want to plan a trip. What kind of travel trends can we get in on this summer?
Well, I think a few things. Activity stack, right? Maybe instead of the destination, you say, what do we want to do? So I looked at Denver by way of example, and my goodness, if you want to see a drone, you've got 150 drone shows coming up. They've already started. And I think that's a really important point, Kelly, is that don't just wait for Memorial Day, July 4th, Labor Day. This is the summer. Every weekend is 4th of July. Right? And just play into that and plan against that. It's a wonderful opportunity. There's even I don't know if you have runners, if you're a runner, you have runners in your family, but the Declaration of Independence is being handed off in a relay across the country coming right through Denver. So I think you're right on time to start planning against these things. And the discovery is amazing. A lot of people using ChatGPT and AI tools to plan their vacations or trips, as young people call them, because of that frequency. 3 days, 2 days, in and out. Prompt it. Say, please include America 250 events. The pro tip is say, pretend I'm a concierge. What itinerary would you plan? That even gives you a next level itinerary with a greater discernment on choices.
That is a great idea. Oh, I love these tips. Okay, leave us with one last bit of wisdom, Regina. What should we keep in mind as travel season is ramping up?
Well, I don't think you get very many moments like this. And I mean this sincerely, and I've already started, and my own family is like, Mom, pace yourself. It's not even 4th of July. And I get it. But the best way to celebrate your country is to see more of it. And when I saw the stat that most Americans have been to fewer than 10 states, there's nothing wrong about that, but what an invitation to see. Right. Make it 11, make it 12, make it 15. And this is the moment to do that. And again, make it activity driven, because you could end up discovering a lot of things that are a lot closer than you think, whether it's a regional flight or a road trip, which will be the rage this summer. And when you get there, I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. I have been so far, and I'm just going to keep going. I'm riding this America 250 train. It's a red, white, and blue summer, and you're not going to get one like this for a long time.
Right. Oh, I love that. Thank you so much for joining us today, Regina, and happy 250.
Okay, you too. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
For more travel tips and advice, just head to ustravel.org. Relationship expert Dr. Viviana has this important advice for couples before they say I do. So there are like a million and one things to prepare for a wedding, like the florals, the shoes, the desserts, the drinks, but you say that you should actually add to the list, which is like mentally preparing for the actual marriage. What do you mean by that?
100%. You should be planning for your dream marriage, not just your dream wedding. Life together truly begins after you say I do. You've joined this membership, this club that so many of us have joined, but you still need to figure out what the rules are from the bylaws that you want to have in your own marriage. So that takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of energy. And that would be the only reason why I think a lot of people should do premarital counseling to give you that specific time to really think about what it is that are those high conflict issues that I see in my office, in long-term relationships, and even, right at new relationships. But a lot of people don't put that thought into it. They're just so overcome by the stressful wedding planning and making sure that the flowers are just right.
You bring up a term I want to know more about. You call it long-term tension. I'm thinking of like a tug of war rope. What do you mean by that?
Long-term tension, it's topics that will often come up at different times in your relationship that may not become overcome very quickly. So it's almost like they rear their heads and then you squash it. You have like one or two conversations and then it comes back up when you have kids, and then it comes back up when there's illness. So these are things like conflict over finances, conflict over communication, how to deal with stress as individuals, as a couple, how to deal with family issues, in-law things. It's not like the one time, like, are we going to have kids? Which is a bigger conversation, but it's like a yes or no. It's the things which like, wait, you have this new job and this new position that's making things change for us. Oh, now you have this new job and now our kids are in a different phase of life. Those are the long-term tension items that I'm referring to and always working with with my couples.
So you're saying have those discussions before the marriage.
Have those discussions. And if you don't even know what discussions you should be having, reach out to me. drviviana.com or vividrelationships.com. I do have a premarital counseling program that you can do online for by yourselves. And of course, if you ever want guidance from one of my providers, we can do that. But the truth is, for a lot of people, having the acknowledgement and the awareness makes a really big difference in their confidence as they're walking down the aisle. Because that's what it's not like you can predict everything or work through everything or know this is the answer, this is how my partner is going to feel forever. But at least to have had the ball rolling on those big long-term tension items can make a really big difference in your experience of the marriage.
Yeah, it's almost like, and this is sad to compare it, but it's like you're studying for the test instead of just going in ill-prepared.
I mean, at least crack the textbook, guys. The divorce rate is going up. It is creeping up more than the 50 to 55% that we've had in the past. So not that divorce is the worst thing that could possibly happen. We're very fortunate that we have that as an option under certain circumstances. But throwing in the towel because y'all didn't discuss how, what your roles would be in the first 10 years of marriage, like, come on, that's the least.
Yeah, that's a great point. I want to just ask finally about social media, because there's a lot about like the perfect wedding or the perfect marriage. How realistic and how much weight should someone put into the social media aspect of this all? Because it can kind of become like a spectacle.
Absolutely. I mean, the whole point of having a big wedding service or even a small wedding service is to have people witness this commitment. It does lead to a feeling of, okay, now we've really joined the club. Help us out, right? And that's where it all really came from, is from this idea of getting support from the community for your union. Now, starting from there, then how beautiful you want the experience to be, whether it's their actual experience at the wedding or what it looks like in years to come on the walls when you decide whether or not you want to hang those wedding photos. I just think it shouldn't be something that causes you stress as a couple. Like do everything on a budget if you want to, don't have a budget if you want to, but talk about it together, because oftentimes I will say the wives to be, the brides, are the ones that are leading the way. And their partners are slowly getting more and more resentful about the planning process. I would love to talk about that with you before wedding season comes up.
I would love that. All right. Well, #thank you so much. I appreciate that. And as always, we can always trust and rely on you for such good love advice. Thanks, Doc.
Thanks, guys.
Find Dr. Viviana online at drviviana.com/vividrelationships or download her free app, Vivid Relationships. Well, we went to Mexico for pastries earlier in the show, but how about we andiamo a Italy, right? For a super fun Italian night recipe by Christy Rost.
Hi, I'm Christy Rost, coming to you from my home kitchen. Think back to your favorite Italian restaurant. It may not be fancy, but it's always relaxing and cozy in your favorite booth. Candlelight, music, and tantalizing aromas. And then the server brings a big plate of pasta and all is right with the world. Well, today we're going to recreate that same relaxing feeling with Italian night at home. My pantry marinara sauce uses ingredients I always have on hand. Canned tomato products, onions, garlic, dried herbs. It's no wonder this is my go-to recipe on a busy day. So I've preheated my pan. I'm adding a little olive oil and some onion. This is about a ½ cup diced. Saute this for several minutes until the onion is softened and translucent. Then I add in 2 to 3 cloves of garlic, peeled and chopped, and saute for about another minute. Next, I add in a 28-ounce can of diced tomatoes. Then I add in a 15-ounce can of tomato sauce. And like I said, these are things I always have in my pantry. Stir that together. I let that simmer for a few minutes, and then I add in just a little dash of sugar, which is going to help take away some of that acid from the tomato. And I have here about a generous tablespoon actually of tomato paste. And I actually keep my tomato paste in tablespoon portions in the freezer, just wrapped so it's easy for me to just take out just what I need. I have about a tablespoon of dried oregano, and I always rub my dried herbs like this between my hands to release the flavor. Okay, and then I add in about a teaspoon of Italian seasoning. If you don't have Italian seasoning, don't worry about it. It'll do just fine with the oregano. No need to worry, no need to run to the grocery store. And then freshly ground pepper. And be generous. And I stir this until it's all well blended. Now, at this point, you can decide if you want to use this as a basic recipe or if you want to add things to it. I happen to have some mushrooms in the refrigerator, so I thought, well, I'll go ahead and use those up. So I'm going to add those into my sauce, and this is going to simmer for anywhere from 30 minutes if I'm in a hurry, or for a couple of hours if I just want all the flavors to build. So whether you have mushrooms or some, maybe you have zucchini squash and some broccoli that you would like to use up, add those to your sauce. You can make a primavera. So at this point, it's done. I just have to put on the lid, give it some time to simmer, and dinner's almost ready. What could be better than pasta with homemade marinara sauce? Topping it with freshly grated Parmesan cheese. Now that's Italian night the easy way. Stay home, stay safe, find the joy.
You can get all this recipe and all of Christy's recipes by going to ChristyRost.com. You can also find all of her cookbooks there. Enjoy. More Coco after the break.
The following interview involves commercial content. The products and services featured appear as paid advertising.
So it's good to plan for today, but it's better to plan for tomorrow. Shannon Martin with Olinger Mortuaries and Cemeteries stopped by earlier to help with what could be your biggest plan. Take a look. Shannon, to start us off, just tell us a little bit about Olinger Mortuaries and Cemeteries.
Yeah, Olinger has been around for generations serving families. We have locations across the Denver metro area, including Castle Rock and Boulder. And those people, that's what defines us. The people that work there, they are serving families at some of their most difficult times of life.
It's horrible.
Yeah, it's really hard, but they do it all with this goal of creating meaningful tributes, whether that's a celebration of life or the most simple of send-off. But we're not just serving families one time. We're actually continuing to serve our communities through events and memorial services throughout the year.
Oh, wow. You guys are part of the community.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Okay, so you're here to have an important conversation, and that is pre-planning your final arrangements. And I know somebody out there is like, oh my gosh, but a lot of people want to have control over how they are sent off. What do you think about that for?
Yeah, well, I think that it's important to think about pre-planning as a gift that you give to your family.
Nice, nice.
And one of the biggest benefits of pre-planning is that it takes the guesswork out of that planning. So if you do so, then you're not going to have to really wonder about what that person would have wanted. You would have had a little bit of knowledge knowing what that was.
And feel more comfortable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then the other benefit is that it gives you time. Pre-planning gives you time to make those decisions calmly and thoroughly away from the stress that can come at the time of a loss.
Yeah. When my mom passed recently, no one in the family had any kind of like rational thinking. So to have it all planned out would be easier for everybody.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So for someone or families that don't know where to begin, it's really intimidating. It is. It's scary. Can you give some tips on what they should think about?
Absolutely. I think that it can seem overwhelming to say, I'm going to go ahead with pre-planning. So what I recommend is I say start with just, thinking about how you want to be remembered. Maybe think about what brought you joy. And then I recommend that people go to our website and request a personal planning guide. And what that's going to do is give you the opportunity at your own pace to look through and see what the options are and maybe start making some decisions.
That's lovely to think about having time. That's a good point. So services have evolved over the years. Can you go over some of the options? Because you guys have a bunch of options. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. We have so many options, but it's really coming down to what is meaningful to that person to make that decision. And what we're seeing is that, again, that personalization is what is driving service choices today. And that can be done through special music, displaying photos, videos, special readings, displaying mementos. Those are all ways that you can bring that personalization into a service. We also see people doing religious services, but celebrations of life are also something we see often, but we also help people with the most simple of send-off. But no matter what your choice is, it's important that you document your wishes. That is the key. And our funeral professionals are an absolute resource in doing so. In fact, we offer quarterly seminars throughout the community where people can come, they learn about their options, and can get all their questions answered.
Wow. That's so lovely to have something set up during one of the worst times of your whole life. Shannon, thank you so much for being here and for teaching us about Ollinger. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you for giving us the opportunity.
Absolutely. You don't have to go through the planning process alone. In fact, you can request a free personal planning guide. All you have to do is visit dignitymemorial.com. They sponsored today's segment. When we come back, the products that make life a lot easier, like real grass for Fido and a super convenient way to carry baby. Check it all out after the break. Let's go shopping with product expert Don McCarthy.
Hi, Coco. First up, I have the #1 real grass dog potty from Fresh Patch, with over 2 million patches already sold. Fresh Patch is a subscription service that delivers real hydroponically grown grass patches to your doorstep, serving as a natural disposable dog potty. Particularly, this is ideal for apartments, condos, or high-rise living. It is highly beneficial for pet parents because it eliminates the need to clean up messy synthetic pads. The grass naturally absorbs the liquids and odors and comes in 4 convenient sizes. It makes training easier for puppies, provides convenience for those seniors or injured dogs, and eliminates late night or bad weather trips outside. They have just released new poop bags, which, if you are a dog parent, is an essential part of your daily routine, and new washable pads to their line. Fresh Patch grass are also good for cats, turtles, bunnies, chickens, and more. Check out all options at freshpatch.com and even get a discount on your first order. Keeping with my theme of pets, as this is National Pet Month, I have something special from Shepherd Boy Farms. They just announced the launch of its newest premium treat, lobster and organic coconut freeze-dried treats for cats and dogs. These are made with real lobster and organic coconut flour. The 2-ingredient formula delivers a high-protein, nutrient-dense snack that is delicious as it is wholesome. The naturally strong lobster aroma makes it irresistible to pets, while organic coconut flour provides fiber and healthy fats to support digestion and skin health. The company is also celebrating its 10-year anniversary, which was started in the owner's grandmother's garage. A brand rooted in quality and transparency, Shepherd Boy Farms is family-owned, made here in the USA, and known for its farm-to-table approach. Besides these unique treats, they also offer raw goat's milk from pasture-raised goats with no antibiotics or added hormones. It's another great pick from their line. Available at pet food stores across the country on Amazon or shepherdboyfarms.com, and my Josie gives them 2 paws up. Now to some options for the other kids in the house. I have Mickey on the Move by Michelle Wagner, an award-winning author. Michelle is a full-time realtor and mom who dedicates her time to supporting children with hearing loss. Inspired by her own son's journey of living with cochlear implants, Michelle wrote the book Mickey on the Move series to educate readers about those who are hard of hearing and the adjustments that make their lives even better. Readers will be inspired by Mickey's bravery and perseverance, and that we can all find happiness if we just kind of lean in and support each other. I also say check out her other book in the series as well, Mickey on the Move Farming, where he does a lot of those farming chores with his mom. You can get on Amazon or at michellewagnerauthor.com. It's a great summer read. Next, the ultimate must-have product for mom or dad from Tush Baby that is truly just a game changer. The brand makes thoughtfully designed carriers that help make everyday life with kids more manageable. The hip carrier is perfect for parents on the move, especially with Memorial Day, graduations, Father's Day, and summer just around the corner. The hip carrier has a structured seat, 5 storage pockets, and built-in back support, making it comfortable for all-day wear from those newborn days all the way through toddlerhood. And it goes up to 45 pounds. And then for any older toddlers up to 55 pounds, they have the lift-off sling, which is super lightweight and compact. Perfect for those quick carry-me moments when you don't want something bulky. So whether you need all-day support or just something quick and easy, Tush Baby is the parent-first baby brand and really meets you where you are. Get at Target, Amazon, or on tushbaby.com. And lastly, it's time for a kick of a treat from Pepper Lane. These tasty preserves are premium handcrafted condiments that offer a unique sweet and spicy balance, perfect for summer grilling and entertaining. Known for using fresh jalapenos, they elevate dishes as meat glazes, dipping sauces, or charcuterie accompaniments. Their versatility makes them an effortless secret ingredient to enhance summer salads, sandwiches, and barbecues. Try it as a dipping sauce for egg rolls or pot stickers, and is the perfect choice to almost any specialty cheese. I even have paired the Raz Pepper with vanilla ice cream. The heat adds excitement to your taste buds, and the options are endless to take your dishes from ordinary to extraordinary. With over a dozen flavors to try, amazing recipes on their website at pepperlane.com to pull from, these preserves are a must-add to cart or pick up locally at a King Super or Safeway. That's a wrap. Till next month, happy shopping. And if you want more information, just go to dawnscorner.com.
Learn more about the items featured today by product expert Don McCarthy by visiting the website on your screen. If you want more shopping ideas, go to Don's website at dawnscorner.com. Thanks for your company, Colorado. Portions of today's program were sponsored by the businesses listed on your screen. And remember, everybody you encounter is facing an uphill battle you know nothing about. So be kind, be patient, be gentle, and then what do I say? Apply that right back to yourself. I'm trying to do the same thing. We will see you next time. Bye!